doing good, brother. How you feeling?
Hey man, I'm hanging in there. Got the kids off to school on time, so everything's good for today.
There we go. That's all right, brother. That's all right.
Oh man. Yeah, actually today's the last day of school here in Japan, so my oldest just finished fifth grade today, so got 2 weeks vacation coming up.
Let's go. Congratulations to the little one. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate
Congratulations.
it.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
So we got a four-day beach vacation coming up starting Monday. So we're excited for that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Let's go. Come on, man.
Things are good here in
Dude.
Japan, man. It's not closed down like everywhere else.
See, that's the foolishness that's going on here, is
Yep.
that everything is shut down. Everything. Well, things are depending on the state. Some things are opening up, but for the
Yeah.
most part, places like California, New York, it's disgusting out there, man.
Yeah.
It
And
really
you're in
is. It's
California, right?
disgusting. I'm in actually Arizona. I just moved to Arizona probably about a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I finally got out of what I say, California. I'm
I
out
know,
of
man.
California, man.
It's crazy because I used to live in Pasadena and I used to live in Palm Desert and I loved it out there, but it just seems like it's a totally different place now.
I mean, you know what it was. You know how
Yeah.
it was. I mean,
Yeah.
Pasadena's a nice place. I mean, these places in California are not bad places to live. It's
Yeah.
just that the leadership is
Yes.
what's tearing it apart. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So I feel you on that, brother. I feel
Yeah.
you.
And the cost of living there too, and from what I hear in New York, I mean, it's not like Japan is cheap either, but for what you get here, the safety and the transportation and all the things that you actually get for the money you're paying, it's totally different.
Get more bang for your buck.
That's one thing that I really noticed. Unless you're eating steak, it's not worth. I mean, it tastes good, but man, it is expensive here.
I
Other than
can dig
that,
it, brother. I
yeah.
can dig it.
Other than that, it's good. It's funny
Dude.
because I talk to people like online and some people that I know personally or some people that we just kind of follow each other and they always ask me, "Oh, how is it in Japan?" And I'm like, "Well, kids have been back in school since June 1st last year, full time. Nothing really changed except for in the classroom they have to wear a mask when they're sitting, but when they go outside they can take it off. And gyms opened up June
Okay.
1st. Everything's been pretty much back to normal. Last year, June 1st, gyms only shut down for 2 months here, man. That's it. And I tell people all this, and they're like, "Oh man, the U.S. is, or I mean, Japan is doing it right, and Trump this and Trump that." And I'm like, and then when I tell them everything's open here, you don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. Then they're like, "Oh, well, that sucks."
Yep, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. What's going on here in the U.S. It's just, I mean, depending on the state,
Yes, that's
depending
true.
on the state. Okay?
That's true.
You know, but like California, New York, we're having a lot of issues. We're having a lot of problems, and you look at the kids, and it's so sad because a lot of people don't take into account what's going on with the kids.
Oh, I
Okay,
know,
kids are
man.
going through it.
Yep.
Kids are going through it, man. They're
Yep.
committing suicide at
Yep.
higher rates
Yep.
than what's been going on before and what's been going
Yeah.
on prior.
Yep.
And it's due to the shutdowns, it's due to the lockdowns, it's due to what's going on at this point in time. It's like you keep trying to explain this to people. Look what you're doing to our children. But
Yeah.
no one, it's almost like they don't care. And unless they want a virtue signal.
Yeah.
Then there's all, oh, we're all for the kids,
Yep.
saying do this for the kids. But other than that, no, they don't care. They
No.
want to put kids in these glass, the fiberglass
That is crazy.
desks, and it's unbelievable,
Some of the stuff I've seen
unbelievable.
online, I have no idea if it's real or not, but like they have him. What's that movie? I think Jake Gyllenhaal, the kid in the bubble or something like that. He has a whole
Oh,
bubble around
bubble
him.
boy.
Bubble boy, yeah. That's basically what they want to do, man.
Brother, let me get like, well, there's these memes. you know, that say, tell me you're a liberal without telling me you're a liberal, you know, and it has this lady in this, basically like Bubble Boy, in his plastic, it's like plastic owned like little suit. And she's typing on it, you know, they got little holes here so you can put your arms to and type on your computer and whatnot. It's unbelievable. This is what's going on. And this is like, you're considered like woke if you do this. You're
Yeah.
considered, oh yeah, look at you. You really care about society. You really care. Yeah. The rest of us are looking at you like, what are you doing? Okay?
Yeah.
And you're making us you're just making us all look bad. You're making us look crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Perpetuating this constant state of fear, and it's actually disgusting. It really is.
You know, for me, it's like if people want to wear a mask or people want to wear a double mask or whatever you want to do, hey, I got nothing against that. Go ahead. But like, you know, for me, I've had lupus for 16 years. So I've had issues with my lungs. So when I wear a mask, I literally start to feel faint. I don't feel good. And my doctors here in Japan told me, don't wear a mask unless you absolutely have to, because that can actually affect your health with your lupus. So that's what I'm doing. You know, if I have to wear a mask, like on the train here, most of the people wear a
Mm-hmm.
mask, but some people don't. And the
Okay.
people without the mask usually go into the corner. They have the windows open by the train, you know, in the train. So most of the people without a mask will stand by the window, kind of respecting the other people. And that's what I do. You know, been that I felt really fortunate that we're in Japan during all of this. And of course, you know, there are people who have lost their lives, and that's really, really sad. Whether I think it's like six on the Joe Rogan podcast. They were talking about 6% of the people that have died from COVID. Only 6% actually only had COVID. The majority of them had 2.6 other severe illnesses. 2.6, you know, but they don't talk about that. They don't talk. You know, I have followed some people that are doctors and you know things like that, and they never talk about, hey, get healthy. Hey, lose weight. Put the donuts down. Krispy Kreme's giving you free donuts now if you got the vaccine.
Yes. Yes. I mean, and it's been known that it tends to affect those who are obese, you know,
Yes,
diabetic,
yes,
pre-diabetic, things of this nature. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But yet,
yeah.
still,
It's
here you go. Here's some Krispy Kremes if you
kind
get
of a
your
tone
vaccine.
deaf, kind of a tone deaf gift, you know. And people are lining up for it, you know. And the vaccine too. If you want to get it, great. Go ahead and get it. But for some, you know, I don't get the flu shot because of my lupus. It can actually do damage to me. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
two doctors. One of them kind of tells me, yeah, it's up to you. It can be risky, but it can also benefit you. So it's completely up to you. The other one tells me, don't do it. And they're all in Japan, you know. So
Huh. How about that?
yeah.
Well, it's again. I agree. I 100% agree. Look, if you want to wear your mask, wear your mask. If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
life. It's your prerogative. I have no problem with it. If you want a double mask, if you want to put on 10 masks or
Knock
wear a
yourself out.
hazmat suit,
Yeah.
knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My issue is the demonization of those who are like, look, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go about life a different way. I'm going to get myself healthy. I'm going to get myself in shape. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to watch what I consume. I'm
Yeah.
not going to eat this Krispy Kreme donut, you know, that you're trying to give me for getting my vaccination.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to, you know, like, and it's the same thing that Planet Fitness does when it comes to, you know, the people who get a membership at Planet Fitness, you know, the pseudo fitness, the
Hmm.
pseudo gym, I would to say.
Okay.
They have pizzas. They have pizza that they serve on, I do believe, Thursdays. And then they have bagels and Tootsie Roll Pops and things of this nature at the
Oh,
front desk.
yeah, that's a
It's
great
like,
idea.
you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing Krispy Kreme is doing. You know, you need to be rewarding people, not in that way, but I mean, you want to encourage a healthy lifestyle, and
Yes.
I think that's what which should be paramount. That should
Yeah.
be paramount in this society, especially in the U.S., where
Yeah.
obesity rates are through the
Yeah.
roof.
It's crazy.
And you can see, like we talked about, obesity is one of the is a huge determining factor when it comes to COVID
Yeah.
of how susceptible you're going to be and how whether you die, right, or
Hmm.
whether you fall, pass away as a
Yeah.
result. And it's really sad that they were not encouraging having a good health and
Yes.
living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's
One
sad.
thing with the vaccine, it's like, especially in the US, why are there so many companies making a different one? Shouldn't they just all come together as one and not worry about profit? The government just says, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. It's to save our people. Everybody come together. Let's all make one. We'll put everybody's name on it if that's what you want, but
Right.
let's make one vaccine that's going to help everybody instead of competition for this."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
You would think in this big old health crisis that where it seems like this worldwide pandemic, and like, okay, again,
Yeah.
like you stated, there have been people who died for this, and
Yes.
I'm sympathetic and
Yes.
sympathetic to those who have family
Yeah.
members who passed away from this.
Yes, of course.
So I don't I hope that, people, whoever watches this doesn't think that I'm being crass when it comes
Yeah.
to this or unsympathetic
And that's the
what
thing.
is
Whenever
going
we
on.
say something like this, they automatically think we don't care, but we do.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. They always try to do that. They always try to say, "Oh, obviously you don't care. You're making a
Yeah.
big joke. You're making light of this." It's not that I'm making light of this. It's just I understand that there is a political dynamic to this that
Mm,
shouldn't be.
that's true. One of the things that really kind of made me start thinking, like, okay, are we going to stay home and worry about this, or are we going to stay healthy, eat healthy, travel, and things like that? Is when I was listening to Brendan Schwab. He said his doctor asked him when he got COVID or before he got COVID, something, I can't remember very well exact situation, but the doctor asked him, I don't know where you stand politically, but there is a medication out there that probably would work if you don't mind taking it. But it was the one that Trump was saying could help for COVID. It's a lupus medication. I should know it since I have lupus. Was it plaque? No, not plaque.
Hydroxychloroquine.
No, yeah, that one.
Mhm.
And so the doctor asked him, we think it would help, but I don't know where you stand politically. And he's like, what are you talking about? If it helps, give it to me. I don't care. I told my wife,
See
book a trip. We're traveling.
and that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
okay. Even when it comes to this vaccine,
yeah,
even when it comes to the vaccine. Now, I'm not for it. Even
yeah,
though Trump development, even though I'm a Trump
yeah,
supporter,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
Okay? So I've had people tell me straight up, people told me it depends who pushes this vaccine. If Trump says it's okay, I'm not taking it. If
yeah,
Biden says it's okay, then I'm taking it. I'm like,
yeah.
unbelievable.
And then to be clear with the vaccine, I don't think I need it. I don't
Okay.
feel I need it. I'm taking care of myself, still working out, taking vitamins and all that kind of stuff. 6 months from now, a year from now, something changes. They come up with something better. Who knows? Maybe I could change my mind if the situation, completely took a drastic change. But for now,
Yeah.
I I,
Yeah.
I don't want to take it.
Boom.
Yeah,
Done and done.
done.
Done and done. I mean,
Yeah,
and that's fair. That's a fair assessment to make.
yeah.
That's a fair assessment. It's okay to have your different beliefs and your different thoughts when it comes to vaccines and
Yeah.
whatnot, and that's fine, and that's fantastic. Again, my issue is the demonization of people who don't take the
Yes.
vaccine, or
Yeah.
the demonization of people who don't believe in the vaccine or don't believe in vaccines. Period.
Yeah.
If you take the vaccine and you don't like the fact that there's this person who claims that they're an anti-vaxxer,
Mm.
well, the fact that you have the vaccine should give you comfort, right?
Yes.
You're good. You're taken care of. Okay. What this person, like they always say when it comes to women,
Yeah.
my body, my choice.
My
When it
body,
comes to
my choice.
abortion, You know what I'm saying? Same thing with
Yeah.
vaccination.
Yep.
My body, my choice.
My
I need you
body,
to do
my
it real quick.
choice. Yeah.
You got
Unless
it.
unless inside of that woman's stomach is a little girl, then she doesn't have a choice. It's not her body, her
Thank
choice. Yeah.
you.
That's
Oh boy.
that's another one. One of
Yes.
the best lines I've ever heard when it came to like abortion was Candace Owens talking to, I can't remember his name. He's one of the Black Lives Matter leaders, I believe, something like that. I can't remember his name,
Oh,
but she had him on his show, and he was talking about releasing people from prison, and he said something like, there could be somebody in prison right now that has the cure for cancer or something like that. Like and then she said, or that person could be in the womb, and he's like, oh, you got me. Like, there's no comeback for that. There's no comeback for that. I had to pause it and rewind
oh,
it. I was like, man, she,
savage, savage,
yep,
savage.
yep,
But I
yep,
mean, when it comes to this debate, and I've had a number of debates with different people, different liberals,
yeah,
um, who are really just gung ho about killing children.
yeah,
And I said, this is how far we have fallen as a society,
mm,
or as just humankind,
mm,
as a human, where I have to convince you
mm,
why killing babies is wrong. I have to explain to you why you shouldn't kill your baby. I have to
yeah,
explain this to you. I,
yeah.
how far, like, where are we at in this world where common sense, something so common sense as, hey, you know that baby you have in your belly?
That's
Don't kill
kicking.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's kicking, that you
yeah,
feel moving and all this type of stuff. Hey, do me a
yeah,
favor and not kill it.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
You know, uh, we
Oh,
have the morning after pill, right? We have a morning after pill. Like that should have cut abortions almost to only like maybe possibly emergency situations, or if somebody is raped or incest, things like that. That's a different thing. I'm talking about like just going in and having abortions at
right.
free will. No, nothing's wrong with the baby. They just decide, hey, you know what, I don't want it. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Get the morning after
And
pill.
this is, I mean, it's that simple. And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
This is why I tell people, when I have these debates and discussions, because they always like to bring up the rape issue.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
okay, how about this? How about this? I'll give you that one.
yep,
I'll give you that. Even the rape, the rape argument and all that type
yes,
of stuff. That's like less than 1%. Let me give you that. Let me
yeah,
concede that.
yes.
Let's save the rest of 99% of the babies. Let's
Mhm.
save the rest of the 99% of the children.
Yeah.
Okay, if I concede, wait, well, which I wouldn't want to, but if I
Yes.
concede the point that you could, okay, rape situations, we'll have a later discussion on that.
Yeah.
But as for the 99% of just, I don't feel like I'm ready to be a mother.
Yeah.
I don't want to carry this baby term, all that type of situation. How about we attack that issue, okay?
Yeah.
And then everything else we can talk about later.
Yes.
But they understand when it comes to them, it's the rape issue
Yeah.
is just another thing to throw at you. Like, oh, what
Mm.
about this? Oh, you don't care about
Yeah.
rape victims? You don't care about that.
Yeah.
That's not an issue to you. You
Of
just want to
course
be able
we
to
do.
abort.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
And it's not only on the woman. So, I'm married, I'm out of the game and everything, but if I was, single and all that, if I was
yeah,
single and all that stuff,
yeah.
you know, okay, dudes, you carry condoms in your wallet, carry a morning after pill. Leave it on her nightstand, whatever. The
Right.
guy can also be proactive when it comes to that.
Thank you. And this is my issue with even with that is that abortion, not only is it a moral wrong, not
Mm,
only is it morally wrong, killing the baby, it also absolves the man of his responsibilities.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I have a 100% problem with that. You know,
Yeah.
because if a man lays down with you and is willing to lay down with you, he's accepting responsibility for his actions. And as human people, as humankind, we need to
Yeah.
accept responsibility for our actions. There's a
Yep.
positive consequence and negative consequences to everything that we do. So if
Yeah.
we're going to lay down with a woman out of wedlock, or in a situation where we don't want to really spend our life with this woman,
Mm.
it's just, like a little hit it and quit it type of
Yep.
thing. You're signing on the dotted line that something may happen, that she may
Yeah.
get pregnant. And if she
Yeah.
gets pregnant, that's your responsibility, young man. That's
Yeah.
your responsibility. And for her to abort that baby, she just absolved him of
Mm.
his duties as a potential father.
Yeah.
So I really think men need to step up as well.
Yes, 100%. And here's the thing. Okay, you hook up with the girl, there's STDs involved. Both of them are going to do anything, fight tooth and nail to stay alive and stay healthy. Most of them aren't just going to give up. Hey, I got an STD. Okay, my life's over. They're going to try to find the best doctors. They're going to do research. But when they get pregnant, not all of them, of course, but hey, let's just go to the clinic. And a lot of times, taxpayer dollars going to pay for it.
You got it. I don't want to fund abortion. I shouldn't have
Yeah.
to fund abortion. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have to fund the genocide of young black babies, especially like in places like New York City. I think it was in 2019 where more black babies were killed as a
Yeah.
result of abortion than birth. When you
Yeah.
have more babies being killed and murdered
Yeah.
as opposed to being birthed and carried to term, you realize that there's a serious situation when it comes to our morality
Yeah.
and when it comes to the rearing of children, especially when
Mm.
the black community is doing it to ourselves, but then we blame everyone else. Oh, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives
Mm.
Matter, except when it comes to the womb.
Mm.
Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's a crazy place we're at right now, with everything going on. It's like everything's piling on at once, crime and, the presidency has changed and COVID and so many things are just piling on. And it's funny because if I watch the news or if on social media, it seems like the whole country is divided. But when I actually talk to people, most of the time, at least probably 80% of the time, we can have a good conversation, even if we don't agree on something. We can say, hey, you know what? That's a great point. I don't agree with what you're trying to get to in the end, but that is a great point. Let me revisit
Mhm.
my thoughts on this, and we can discuss more. That's about 80% of the time what happens.
Um, it, I will say this, if we can get back to being civil, if we
Mm,
can get back to civil discussion and being
mm,
able to say, hey, look, we have opposing views.
yes.
Let's talk about them. Let's talk about this. Let's come together and have this conversation with one another. And hey, I may not agree with you at the end of the conversation. You still may never agree
Yes.
with me, but at least we can, at the very least, we can come to some type of common ground
Yeah.
with what we do agree with, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember, as a matter of fact, I was at the airport and I was wearing my MAGA hat. I was wearing a MAGA hat, and this Bernie supporter, a Bernie bro,
Mm,
came up to me, and we started talking. And our conversation was just so awesome because we
yeah.
talked about what we disagree with, in regards to, I talked about what I disagree with when it comes to Bernie Sanders policies. He
Mm,
talked about what he disagreed with when it comes to Trump's policies. But we were able to come and find some common ground. Even with him being a Bernie bro, even with
mm,
me being a Trump supporter, we were able to come to common ground and we were able to shake hands. And he said, like, this was one of the best conversations I've
yeah.
had in a long time because, look, at the end of the day, we can always find some common ground. If
Yeah.
we just talk, if we
Yeah.
just civilly discuss what our different ideas, different opinions, things of this nature, we can always come to some type of common ground. And if we
Mm,
can do that as a society and say, hey, I understand I disagree with you. You understand that you disagree with me, but hey, let's find some common ground and let's move from there. I think
Yeah.
we would be in a way better place as far as this world is concerned.
Completely agree with you. And, I think unfortunately, like social media has put a big halt to that because, for example, if we were having a debate right now and we don't agree on something and you say something to me that totally blows my argument away, the internet's going to show that and then show the clip of those dudes carrying the casket, right? Like, oh, he's done. He just killed his argument. And so people are afraid to say, and also another thing is if you would say to somebody, you know what, that's a great point. Oh, he switched sides. Oh, that's it. She is no longer one of us. You can't you can't concede anything, which is terrible because that's not even a conversation, Zoning
Yeah,
or they
it's well. I mean, I just think we need the internet has kind of made things bad in that sense. You know what I'm saying? That it's all about showing things.
I think we're getting a little bad connection here.
Yes,
What's going
sir.
on, man?
Hey, man, it's all good. Life is fantastic, you know.
I,
Life
I
is
hear you.
fantastic. What's up?
Just relaxing over here, man. We got back from our beach vacation, getting life back to normal, planning our next. We're going to be taking a vacation every month, and then end of June we'll be back in the States for probably 2 months.
Sounds good. That's
Yeah.
all right there. That's fantastic.
Oh man, I'm so excited. We haven't. We used to go back. I've been in Japan 11 years, and the first 6 years we used to go back to the States and basically spend 3 months there and then 9 months in Japan. But once my oldest son started elementary school, we could only go back like twice a year. And then these last year we didn't go back because of COVID and everything. So looking forward to getting back home and getting some of that homemade cooking.
Oh, I know how it goes, brother.
Oh
I got a little
man.
too much homemade cooking, if you ask me.
I started my diet from now just to be ready for the end of June.
You're planning ahead. See, you're a
I'm
smart
planning
man.
ahead. Oh man. My kid and my wife already started making a list of which restaurants they want to eat at. My son's like Panda
Oh,
Express, all this stuff.
y'all, see, y'all plan on just doing damage, okay?
Oh
And
man.
that's fantastic
Yep.
right there.
Yep. Yep. We've all been
That's
working out. My
all
son
right.
wakes up, works out before school, and he's getting ready.
Wow. Well, can you do me a favor? Can you have your son come over here and teach these American kids to work out, to
Man,
get fit?
isn't it crazy how either kids in America are all about fitness, right? Because there's some kids that are just monsters fitness, and then there's some that are just zero. There's kind of no middle ground.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that because I've noticed this as well.
Mm,
There's no in between. There's
no.
the fit kids,
Yeah.
there's the unfit kids, and the unhealthy kids, and the
Yeah.
morbidly obese kids,
Yeah.
and there's nothing in between, and it's
No.
sad.
It's
But
really
this
sad.
problem, I mean, we have an epidemic in America. I mean, as
Yep.
we all know,
Yep.
so it's to be expected. This is what's happening now.
You know it, and it comes from the parents.
Oh yeah,
You know, uh,
oh yeah.
it's not like my kid just wakes up and wants to do stuff. We like to eat out. We like ice cream. We like hamburgers. So I tell him, hey, you want to have all that junk? You got to work for it. You can't just eat all that and then do nothing, sit home and play video games. Last last April, May, when schools were closed for 2 months, we were waking up 6 a.m. He's playing baseball. That was his first year of baseball. We were going to the park, practicing a couple hours, coming home, and then I think it was September. He said, "Hey, Dad, I want to run 100 kilometers before the end of the year." So I was like, "Let's do it." So he would wake up every morning, 5 days a week except for weekends, and he would hit 2 or 3 kilometers before school, and then go to school.
How old is your son?
Now he's 11, but at that time he was 10. But I mean, he's 11, but he's I think 5'6" now and about 120 pounds, but pretty lean. So he's a big kid. He's a giant here in Japan, man.
Oh, I'm bad.
Dude, he is. I got some pictures of his like friends at the park. They're like literally right here. Oh, it's hilarious, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing, because I have an ex-wife of mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were together, we were married. I tried so very hard because the family was very obese,
Yeah.
from the mother to the father to
Mm-hmm.
all the siblings, all the sisters, as well as the sisters' kids,
Yeah.
right? All the different sisters' kids, and my ex-wife, she was getting to, she was starting to get rather big, and her
Yeah.
kids were following suit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and here I am, I'm this big fitness guy, and I love
Yeah.
fitness, and I eat, sleep, and drink fitness, and I'm going to the gym and coming home at all hours of the day. At the time I was doing 2 a days, so
Wow.
I'll go to the gym, come back, try to cook some good, chicken and brown rice, that type of thing, then
Yep.
go to the gym and come back, and I would see them, and I was watching. I'm trying to set the example,
Yeah.
right? Trying to set the example, because like you said, you live by example,
Yeah.
right? You don't just tell them to do this and you don't do it yourself. So you live by example. So this is what I was trying to do. The only issue was in living with my ex-wife and her kids
Mm.
is that she wasn't following suit.
Yeah.
So the kids were following her example,
Mm.
the sedentary lifestyle, eating a lot of fried foods, eating a
Yeah.
lot of fast foods, all eating chips and getting little snacks and things of this nature. And it was very counterproductive, it seemed, to what it is that I was trying to do and inculcate within the family,
Mm.
that fitness and health and lifestyle, fitness and health should be a part of your lifestyle. So it's very detrimental to be in a situation or in a relationship in which one person is trying very hard to be fit and trying to promote this healthy living,
Yeah.
and the other person is doing the exact opposite. I love that in your family, everyone's on one accord when it comes
Yeah.
to fitness, when it comes to health. I love that you've taught your children, look, this is what if you want this, you earn it.
Mm.
You earn it in so much that your child has said, "Hey, Dad, I want to run 100 kilometers." What
Yeah.
kid says that?
Yeah.
But that's a kid that's been taught the right things,
Mm.
that understands the priority of health and fitness. And I mean, kudos to you. You've obviously done a wonderful job in instilling that in children.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? I'm a great father, you know? I got to take credit for it. No, I'm
Great.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know, and even our 2-year-old, man, he'll jump in when he sees us doing exercise and he'll try doing squats and stuff like that. And you just, you got to show them from a young age, but you got to lead them from example.
Boom,
From example.
boom.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
It starts young. Everything.
yeah,
Everything starts young.
yeah. My son got a little bit lazy in like 2 weeks. He usually does like push-ups, sit-ups, and squats in the morning, and I have him
Whoa,
write it down every morning, and then he does them at night too. And he writes them down how many he did and kind of keep track. And like I said, hey, where's your notebook? Let me take a look at it. And he had 2 weeks where he didn't do anything. Or no, 3 weeks where he didn't do any of those. He did other stuff, baseball training, things like that, but he didn't do that. And it was 3 weeks. And I go, just think how much stronger you'd be right now if those 3 weeks you would have kept doing it. And he's like, man, why didn't I do it? You know. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go do them right now. And I was like, well, it's bedtime. He's like, I'll do them real quick. I'll do them real quick. Just let me get them done. I was like, all right. And this morning he woke up, did them again, smile on his face, went to school.
what
But
incredible. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not just health and fitness. And this is
mm,
something I've always said about bodybuilders. This
yes,
is one thing I've always admired about bodybuilders when I was growing up, before I
yeah,
became a bodybuilder. I
mm,
love the work ethic.
yeah,
Okay? Work ethic. You
yes,
gotta respect that. And this
yep,
is what you instill in your children. Your children now have this idea that, look, I need to work hard. I need to be
yes,
dedicated. I need to be consistent. I need to be a hard worker. I need to be disciplined, right? They're
mm,
going to utilize these traits and transfer them into the rest of the parts of their lives, right?
yes,
And this is something I said about bodybuilders. When it comes to bodybuilders, I love the fact that these ideologies within them, the hard work ideologies, these discipline, putting discipline on a pedestal, all these ideologies, they transfer into their real life, so into the regular life. So not only is this them in their bodybuilding world and working out their body and health and fitness, this is them at work. This is them at home. This is them doing whatever project that they're doing. Why? Because it is important to them to be this type of person, and they created this person who's going to be have all these different work ethics that's going to be beneficial for them in the grand scheme of things, not just in fitness.
In the big picture. It's also, it's not just the responsibility that they learn, but it's also they learn the disappointment of not following through. Like the look on his face when he had to show me that notebook. He looked at it first, and I saw it in his eyes. I was like, yeah, he hasn't been doing it. And when he handed it to me, he was just kind of had his head down. I go, hey, don't put your head down. This is what you decided to do. Tell me what it says. And he handed it to me. And I was like, no, I don't want to see it. I want you to tell me what was the date of the last one. And he said it, and I was like, all right. And to see that disappointment in his eyes, I'm like, okay, he's learning that you got to be held accountable, and what disappointment feels like at something that's not going to destroy his life, right? And I don't want him to learn disappointment in some big, event, and he doesn't know how to handle it. So I told him, I was like, look, the way you feel now, imagine if this was something bigger, right? I said, so you got to do whatever you can. There's always going to be disappointment, but this is something you could have controlled. I said, just imagine how many more push-ups you could do right now, how much better your form would be. And he just kind of, it kind of, I don't think it hit him 100% where he's going to do it, every day solid again, but it's kind of building him up to understand that. And when life hits him with something, he's going to learn how to deal with it. He's going to learn to be accountable, and he's going to learn how to deal with adversity and disappointment. I hope, anyways. That's what the plan is,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and that's something I've always preach to people is first of all, you need to have an accountability partner. First and foremost, when it comes to fitness. You need an accountability partner. You need someone that's going to be like, hey, you need to get your act together. You're slipping, all right? You're slipping short, right? And that's going to keep you on track. And it's going to be like, hey, we need to do this. You've been slipping. I mean, it's been 5 days, okay, and you haven't even thought about fitness, okay. So it's time to get your butt up and get your butt working. And I really love that, usually when it comes to fitness, it's that type of mentality. And again, that's another thing that translates and translates to real life, because of the fact that in real life, this is what we need as well. We need to be in a situation where we have a relationship with somebody that's going to say, hey, you're messing up when it comes to your procrastination. You're procrastinating too much. You're messing up when it comes to your finances. You're not budgeting. You're messing up when it comes to this. You're messing up when it comes to that. We need people that's going to keep us accountable. And what you're teaching, and goodness gracious, like you said, you start early.
Yes.
You start early. Yeah. The ideology that you're to your children, you're starting early and letting your children know, hey, this is how you be a grown adult. Okay? This is how you do it. So let's get you on this regimen. Let's get you on this regimen to the point where, I mean, I've seen some kids who don't have regimens up like that, and they're very, they live at home. They they have no responsibilities. They don't want to do the dishes. They don't even want to do anything at home. So it's just a carefree life. And it's because there's no structure. There was no structure when they were growing. I love what you're doing with your children because you're showing structure. And you said that even your 2-year-old is mimicking what you're doing. What does that tell you, man?
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. Yeah, I'll send you the clip of him doing little squats and trying to do push-ups and stuff. It's so funny, man.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, yeah. And I grew up with fitness. Like my brother owned a gym from when I was pretty young, and then all my brothers played sports, and so I've been working out, most of my life and stuff. So I look back now and I realize how that dedication in the gym can kind of help you in other aspects in life. It's not how big your muscles get or anything like that, but it's the man, I feel like shit today, but I got to get to the gym and do this. So then when you got something else to do, you don't feel good. All right, but I got to get it done. It might have not been
Sir.
beautiful, but I got it done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And
Mm,
speaking of
mm.
bodybuilding and stuff, how did you get into bodybuilding? What was your journey into fitness?
Lord have mercy.
Ah, I'm ready.
well,
I'm ready.
well, I was a skinny kid. I was a skinny kid,
No,
and
are you
oh
kidding?
yeah, oh I kid you not.
What age are
I
we
was
talking? Like
so
5 years old or what?
no, well, no, actually, it was funny because at 5 years old, I was a fat little chubby kid. You know what I'm saying? And then I got that growth spurt, grew a bunch of inches, and
Yeah.
I was that awkward skinny kid all the way up until I was about 20 years old.
20 years
Up
old.
until
How much
about
did
20
you
years
weigh
old.
at 20?
Okay, okay, let me break this down first. Okay,
Okay.
I was top. I mean, I was bottom heavy. I had
Okay.
three trunks for legs. Okay,
Okay.
so when I was 210. I was 210, but
Okay.
I'm not talking about 210. I'm talking
Yeah.
about just my bottom. Okay,
Okay.
tree trunk legs. I was stout on the bottom,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to me up top. Absolutely nothing. Okay, it was bad. I played basketball all my life. I
Yeah.
played volleyball, and
Okay.
so it was all about the bottom half, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got made fun of a lot
Hmm.
by my family,
Hmm.
by other people. Um, I was called uh, every skinny joke was about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the youngest of four boys. I'm the youngest of four
Oh,
boys, so
yeah.
they, I got
Um,
beat up. I got pushed
I'm the
around.
I'm the youngest of six brothers, so I know what you went through, man.
I thought I had it bad. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah. And then we're all from oldest to youngest is 10 years different, so we were all pretty close in age.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Goodness
All
gracious.
right.
But
Yeah.
uh, so what was the catalyst was for me?
Mm.
I was dating this chick, right?
It's always a chick,
And
right? That gets us to do something.
with the chick, it's always the chick. Okay, first and foremost, like they say, breakups make bodybuilders. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Breakups make bodybuilders, right? Or breakups build bodybuilders. So
Yeah.
I
Yep.
was dating this chick. She was bigger than me, right?
Yeah.
She was a big she was a big girl, and oh man,
Oh.
she told me because we would get in different situations,
Yeah.
and she would this was in kind of the ghetto over in the hood where she
Yeah.
lived, and she would
Yeah.
say if we ever got into a fight, I would have to fight for you because of how small you are. You scrawny bitch.
Man, she hit you where it counts.
She used to lay into me. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad. And eventually she broke up. And she broke up with me, broke my little heart,
Mm.
And I told myself, never again will I
Yeah.
be in a situation where people are going to make fun of me due to my size. So I
Mm.
started working out, and I really have not stopped.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's so many people that have a similar story. Like for me, I got into it just because my brothers were always working out, and I didn't get like picked on bad or anything, but a little bit here and there. And my brothers would call me like noodle arms because I had really small arms and things like that. And so I just kind of got into the gym, and once I started putting a little size, I was like, oh, they're not calling me noodle arms anymore. So I started working out more, and so yeah, but yeah, that's the worst, man, when a girl tells you that you can't take care of her. Whew.
There's nothing worse. There's
Yeah,
nothing
that's
worse.
well, the only thing
Oh,
worse than that would probably be getting beat up in front of your girl. That would probably be the worst.
thank God that
Yeah,
never happened. 'Cause
yeah,
I don't care how big I got.
yeah,
To this day, I still wouldn't hear the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that
Oh,
would be the worst. Because
terrible.
whenever you get in an argument, she's gonna be like, "Oh, how come you didn't act this tough with that one guy?" Argument's over, man.
Don't,
You lose no matter what
don't
it
make me
is.
call that guy back over. Don't make me call the guy to come over and handle this, all right? Oh no! Oh
Oh,
no!
never gonna win an argument after that, man.
No, no, you just end the
Jeez.
relationship and move on. That's what you
Yep.
do.
Yep. That's it. You just turn into a yes
Oh,
man after that. That's it. That's it.
oh, do nothing. As a man, you pride yourself on being able to take care of yourself, not
Yes.
only as
Yes.
being able to take care of yourself, but being
Yep.
able to be the protector for your family, right?
Yeah.
For your
Yeah.
girl, for your children, of that
Yeah.
nature. If known as that guy who's incapable of doing so,
Mm.
that's a hit
Mm.
on self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's your family's questioning you now. Like,
Yep.
okay, we have a person obviously who's incapable of taking care of us in this aspect.
Isn't it even more crazy that in 2021 we can't even say like as a man you have to protect your family. Like that's even considered like we're not even supposed to talk like that anymore. You
It is
know,
ridiculous.
oh man, you can't say
It
things
is
like that anymore.
no.
It's
It's not PC. It's not
no,
PC anymore. It's
no,
to say common things that are very common.
mm,
To say simple ideologies that we've known all our lives and for
yeah,
generations, right?
yeah,
To say that as a man you're supposed to take care of your family, that's
mm,
now not the right thing to say. You
yeah.
can't, aside
They'll
of
try to
certain,
cancel you for it.
oh, absolutely, cancel culture will rear
Yeah,
its ugly head and
yep,
come after you.
yeah,
Absolutely, for
yeah,
speaking basic truths.
yeah,
I'm so watching, especially here in America,
yeah.
watching cancel culture run rampant. It's an unchecked cancer. It
Mm,
really is. It's an unchecked cancer that's spreading, that's metastasizing through the soul of America, and so many people are being caught up in this foolishness
yeah,
in which if you don't say the right thing, if you don't do the right thing, well, not even the right thing. If you
yes,
don't do what is the
yeah.
prevailing notions, the prevailing winds, whatever is
Don't follow the
popular,
line.
now,
Yeah.
yep, it's sick. It's sick, man. It's sick. I can't stand it. Do you have a cancel culture out there in Japan? Is it the same? Is there such a thing?
No, I mean, it's kind of interesting because Japan is so advanced when it comes to technology and things like that, right? But when it comes to like whatever's going on in other countries, especially in America, it's usually about 5 to 10 years behind until it hits Japan. I mean, gyms and working out wasn't big until about 5, 6 years ago. Now there's like anytime fitness gyms popping up
Really?
everywhere. People are getting into fitness and it's really changing. But when I first got here 11 years ago, there was basically nothing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. And
That's
and
very
here
interesting.
yeah, people the culture here is different too. People kind of mind their own business. If you do or say something they don't like, they just cut you off. That's it. They don't try to, go after you or things like that. You're just done. Doesn't matter how long you've been friends. Doesn't matter what it is. You do something that they don't agree with or they don't like, it just relationship's done. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
would love for that here in America. I
Yes.
would love for that type of mentality.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't like what you espouse.
Yep.
I'm done listening to you. And then
Yeah.
go on about my way. No,
That's
it doesn't
that's
happen
it.
anymore. I don't
No.
like what you espouse, therefore I'm going to cancel you. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. What's going on in America is disgusting. It's despicable. Cancel culture is going after people's jobs. It's going after
Yes.
people's legacy. It goes after people's legacies posthumously.
Yeah.
Our
Unless you're
founding
on the left,
father.
then they just say, "Oh, he made a mistake. She learned from this." Everybody gets a second chance. Yeah.
You always get a second chance on the left.
Yeah.
You always get a second chance.
Yeah.
You're always protected. You're coddled. You're put in this bubble in which it's like a force field, right?
Mhm.
You're put in
Yep.
this force field if you're on the left, but if you're on the right, you are, especially if you're a white man,
Yeah.
especially if you're a
Oh,
white
that's
man. Oh,
crazy.
right, right, unbelievable. If you are white, if you are a straight white male,
Yeah.
you are Satan himself. You know, you
Yeah.
are a racist, you're a misogynist, you're a
Yeah.
sexist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe, you're a
Yeah.
xenophobe, you're every
Everything.
type of phobe in life. Oh, it's
Dude, when I saw that
unreal.
happening towards white people, I went outside and started tanning right away. I was like, I got to get as dark as possible so I don't, so I can be safe. I'm
You,
I'm Mexican, but, so I can get a little light in the winter. So I was like, man, I better get a membership at a tanning salon, or else who knows how it's gonna go when we head back home.
just in case.
Just in case, just in case, man.
Oh my God. And it's real. It's so funny. I mean, it's not funny, ha ha, but it's funny,
Yeah,
crazy, and
yeah,
insane. Because I remember back in the 50s, 40s, the 60s,
mm,
it was bad to be black.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, eventually all the civil rights movement, all this type of stuff, black was taboo. You look at it now, 2021, it's the exact opposite.
yeah,
White is taboo. If
yes,
you are, there was an attack. I'm pretty sure you're aware.
mm,
Here in America, there's a black man who
which one?
attacked an elderly Asian. Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. A
Oh,
black man attacked an elderly Asian woman, right? I think she was 64, 63 years old. There's this professor, right? This white professor,
mm,
liberal, who said that it was white, it was a sign of white supremacy.
yeah,
A black man attacking an Asian woman
yeah,
is white supremacy.
yeah. In
How?
2021, of course.
In 2021. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed. This is how loony it's gotten.
yeah,
Everything is a sign of white supremacy.
yeah,
Everything, bar none.
yeah,
That means there's no self accountability. There's no responsibility. There's nothing of that nature. It's just white supremacy.
yeah.
Somehow, some way. We had another attack, a terrorist attack, where and I do believe, who was he? He was I do believe a Muslim. I want to
Mm,
say a Muslim, and he had attacked several people and whatnot. And
okay.
automatic, the narrative was white supremacists.
Oh yeah,
Automatic.
I saw
White,
that.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, is
And
that the one
all of a
where
sudden,
Kamala Harris's niece blamed it on a white guy, and then it turned out it wasn't a white guy?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I saw that one.
exactly.
Yeah.
And once they found out it wasn't a white guy,
quiet, and no retraction either. They didn't apologize,
No,
nothing.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, not at all. This is the state of America at this point.
yeah.
This is where America's at, and it's disgusting. It really is.
For me, the whole like attacks on Asians and things like that, and when I see uh, they blame it on white supremacy, and when you look at where the attacks are coming from, it's I posted that we are going to head back to the States, and some people on Facebook, non-white people, they're like, oh, you better keep your kids safe because white supremacy and all that stuff. And I was like, white people are the least of my worries when we head back there because my kids are half
Right.
Japanese. Yeah. I was like, my kids are half Japanese, half Mexican. So I'm not too worried about that. I was like, if you look at what's really going on, that they're the least of my worries. And she's black and she's like, oh, what are you trying to say? I said, I'm not trying to say anything. I said, look at the statistics. I said, all of the crime against Asians is happening in democratic cities. And it's not white people doing it. It's white people where it's being reported. There's been several elderly Asians that are killed by non-whites, right? And it'll be on the news a little bit, but at the top page of Yahoo is like white woman spits on Asian. Okay, spit or killed, which one is worse? Which one do we? If I had a choice, which one am I going to get? You know? And
Oh,
I see all these celebrities doing all this stuff too, and I posted a couple times, and like if you want to fix a problem, you got to speak facts. And oh man, all my friends that are black or Mexican and all this stuff, they're like, oh bro, what are you doing, man? I was like, hey, to me, I got my kids are half Mexican, half Japanese. I got nephews that are half black, half white. I got Mexican nephews, half Mexican, half white. They all matter to me, man. I want them all to be protected. I don't care who's, what color the attacker is. It's ridiculous.
ain't it though?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And,
Yeah.
and as we know, when it comes to the left,
Yeah.
facts be damned.
Yeah.
Okay? Facts
Yeah.
be damned.
Yeah.
It's not about facts. It's about
Yeah.
emotional platitudes, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that these criminals, these perpetrators are black. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. At the end of
Doesn't
the
matter.
day, that's null and void because we're all about white supremacy and
Yeah.
attacking that and trying to beat back that.
Yeah.
When we have the elephant in the room that they're ignoring, which is the black crime spike, right?
Mm.
Facts be damned.
Mm.
It's not about facts. It's about emotional platitudes.
Mm.
That's it. And these ideologies that they're trying to put out, they have nothing to do with reality. And it's this postmodernistic push of propaganda that they're trying to redefine language or try to revamp
Yes.
language, right? They're trying to push the or the Latinx now, like womenix.
Yeah. No, okay. Here's one that really cracks me up, right? About changing language, right? Pelosi and them wanted to take out mother, sister, father, he, she, right? From people in the House. But they're the same ones that are saying, congratulations, Kamala Harris, the first woman vice president.
Right.
I don't get it. Which one is it? Which one is it?
You can't have both.
It's ridiculous. And then I don't remember which celebrity it is. I can't remember her name. It's like Kurt Russell's daughter and Goldie Hawn's daughter, I think. I can't remember her name. But they asked her about her daughter. But it was to the effect of, are you going to raise her as a girl or a boy? And she said, no, we're going to let her choose her gender when she gets older. Like, but you called her she. You already chose her gender.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oops.
The virtue signaling. The
Oh
virtue.
man.
It's so rife within the United States. The virtue signaling, trying to sound woke. Everyone wants to sound woke, and then we're woking ourselves backwards, right?
Yeah.
We're woking up. Even with the there's been so many news reports from segregation, right? Take segregation, for example, something we got away from during the civil rights era, something Martin Luther King fought hard against. my black ancestors who
Yeah.
marched up and down the street were violently attacked by police dogs
Yeah.
and KKK people and things of this nature, right? So we don't want segregation. Yet and still, we're becoming so woke that colleges are having black-only dorms,
Yes.
Latino-only dorms,
Yeah.
LGBT-only dorms.
Yeah.
If you are a white man, you cannot be a part of this dormitory.
Yes.
They are actively asking for segregation.
Yeah.
They're
I saw that
actively
at the
jumping.
workspace where the girl came in and said, "Hey, this is a safe space. There's no white people allowed." Crazy. Well,
It's
did you see
unbelievable.
Oakland is offering financial support for people that need it unless you're white.
Unless, if you're poor and black, you
Yes.
can get all the support you need. If you're
Latino,
poor and
Asian, and
Latino, you
yep.
can get, yes.
Yeah.
If you're poor and white,
Yeah.
no aid for you. The universal basic, the UBI, the
Yeah.
universal basic
Yep.
income.
Yeah.
They're trying. This is how sick this country is
But
getting.
here's the loophole for that. If I was poor and white, I would just say I associate myself as poor and Latino, so I should be able to qualify.
That's
There you
it.
go. There you
That
go.
or illegal or
There. Yeah.
illegal.
Yeah.
If you're an illegal SAA, you're okay.
Yeah, man.
This
That's
is
the border thing is getting crazy. And then, for me, it's kind of a an issue that I feel a little bit different on some things about because my family came to the US illegally first. We left Mexico. My father came to the
mhm.
US, got work, sent money back. He would go back, work in Mexico, come back, got a job, and they told him like, yeah, you can bring your family. We'll help you out. This was about 40 years ago when things were a little bit different. Most of the people were coming to work, even though it was still illegal. Times are different. But now what's going
Oh
on
yeah.
is just crazy. And my father never got welfare. He never took any of that. And I've talked about this in other podcasts where they would come to the house trying to convince my father to take welfare. And my dad's like, we didn't leave Mexico to come and get free stuff. We came here to work.
Ooh.
There's work. We came to work. So my dad was like, don't come back to my house. We don't want welfare. And they would keep coming back.
Well, that's definitely not what's going on nowadays.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, people are
man.
grasping. Man,
Yeah.
oh goodness, welfare, please, please
Yes.
give me welfare.
Yeah.
Give me welfare.
Yeah.
I've come over here not to work. I've
Yeah.
come over here to have it nice, to have
Yeah.
it good, to
Yeah.
benefit off the backs of Americans,
Yeah.
and it's nefarious right now. It's
Mm.
and I've been looking at these images on the border, and I've seen some of the infrared these coyotes dropping kids off of
Yeah.
bringing them to the wall and
Yep.
dropping them. A kid was just left in the desert by coyotes,
Jeez.
by drug smugglers, just left in the desert, and the kid found border patrol and was crying, explaining to them how he was left to die in this desert all by himself,
Jeez.
just just left a kid. And people want to talk about, the benevolence of the Biden administration when it
Mm.
comes to illegals and yada yada and so forth.
Mm.
There's a surge of sex trafficking. There's
Mm.
a surge of drugs pouring into the U.S. There's a surge of all this type of stuff going on, and now there's actually talks about, which is kind of interesting. They're thinking about restarting the border wall.
Yeah, I
Plugging the
saw
gaps.
that. Plug in the gaps. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I posted that on my Facebook. I said, hey, Democrats on Facebook, let's see that same rage that you had when Trump was doing it.
Let's
Yeah,
see it. But
nothing. Nothing.
nothing, not at
Yeah.
all, not at all.
Yeah. A couple
Because
of the Democrats were
whenever
like, oh, I
Biden,
support that. Yeah.
uh, oh, now you support it,
Nah.
huh? Now you support it. When it was Trump, it was kids
Yeah.
in cages. When it was
Yeah.
Biden, is migrants
That
to
that
facilities. When
Obama
it's
bill.
short, it's
Cage's
old.
Obama bill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But you explain that pesky little fact to
Yeah.
leftists, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
they don't want to hear
Yeah.
nothing of it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Somebody's got to make a T-shirt that says, "Who built the cages, Joe?"
Ask your boss
Yeah.
or your former boss.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes
And
to
that's
immigration, like I said, my family came here to work and all that stuff. So it was something completely different. And I grew up in the farming community. Um, and it's not like America doesn't need people to come in and do these jobs because the people in America are not doing them. That's why they're available for immigrants to come in, right? And my family is the American dream. We came from Mexico. We worked hard. We never got arrested. We didn't get in trouble. My parents moved us to like an all-white town because they wanted us to stay away from gangs and drugs and all that kind of stuff. And because we were six brothers, we didn't really have to deal with a lot of uh, fighting and stuff like that. But he had told us, stay out of trouble. This is not our country. We came here for something better. If you guys ever get arrested or you guys ever get in trouble, you're going to get it worse when you get home. So whatever you do out there, it's going to be
mm,
worse when you come home. You're a representative of this family. So
mm,
we grew up kind of being afraid to step out of line, right? And our
right.
community, the community we grew up in, they took us in. Not because we acted white, not because we whatever. We were still proud of who we were, where we came from, but we were also proud to work hard and to be able to have a better life. And I'm telling you, our community, they accepted us, they took us in, they helped us when we needed it. My brother was a wrestler. He qualified to go to nationals. He was the first two-time state champ in our school's history. He qualified to go to
Let's
nationals.
go.
He had to raise money to go. Our community, which was all white people, he got enough money to not only fly himself, but fly, I believe it was four of my brothers with him for coaching and support, everything taken care of. The community, the business owners, they're like, hey, how much you need? My brother's like, well, I'm trying to raise X amount. He had enough to take care of everything. And it wasn't because we forgot who we were. Everybody knew, my brothers would do the Holy Trinity before they got on the mat. My brother designed T-shirts that had a Mexican flag with the tequila worm, and it said something like 2 men enter, 1 man leave, something like that. So we were
Okay.
still proud of who we were. Yeah. And everybody accepted us because of the way we represented our family, and didn't cause problems.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen anymore today.
No,
In this modern
no.
day,
Uh,
which is unfortunate. The whole honor system is kind of gone.
yeah.
Honor used to be something. Even back in the day,
Mm.
honor was something was you didn't want to bring dishonor to your freaking family. You
Yes.
don't want that
Yeah.
because they realize especially when it comes to the black community, like you want to be known as an upstanding citizen, right?
Yes.
Back in the day, I'm talking about back in the day.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that mentality is gone.
Yeah.
The idea of honor, the idea of working hard, not getting handouts, not having daddy and mama government take care of you,
Mm.
being able to provide for your family as a man,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
as a man should, being able to have a good child who you can introduce and say, look, this is the fruit of my loins,
Mm.
and look at him. He's an upstanding person. He's an
Mm.
upstanding citizen. He's going to the military. I'm so proud of my
Yeah.
son. I'm so proud of my daughter because of what they're contributing to society. But
Mm.
there's none of that anymore. That's taboo. Okay,
Mm.
that's taboo now. And it's scary. It's scary watching America kind of implode on
Mm.
itself from within, teaching people
Yeah.
to rely on big government, to rely on handouts, to rely on what this person can do for you, that person can do for you.
Mm.
It's okay to go out on the street and live on the street and shoot up heroin on the streets
Mm.
of San Francisco, right? It's okay to do that. That's acceptable. That's, hey,
Yeah.
you do you. And
Yeah.
it's so sad. This libertarian ideology that's crept into
Live your
society
truth is what they
is,
say. Live your truth.
yes, your truth. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You live your, yes, yes. Thank you. And I'm so sick of this because there is the truth and then there's the lie. And when you're living your truth, that's not the truth, then you are living a lie. And
Yeah.
we need people to be able to say that. But we can't say that anymore because of PC culture, because
Yes.
you'll get canceled if you
Yeah.
go against what the mob or the prevailing notions and the prevailing winds is what is blowing your direction. If you
Yeah.
go against the grain, if you go against the flow, then you are canceled. You're done. It's
Mm.
sad.
I was watching a video on YouTube about like the homeless situation in California, and they had this woman on. I don't know how old she was, but she was probably late 20s, early 30s, and they were interviewing her, and they asked her like how do you feel out here living on the streets? What can people do to help you? What do you need? She's like, I don't need anything. She's like, I choose to be here. She's like, everybody here has a choice. She's like, I can walk in right now and apply for government support and get money. She's like, but I'm not ready for that. She's like, I'm still using drugs. I'm still doing whatever I want to do. I'm not ready for that yet. Everybody here has a choice. So don't, and she was like, don't feel bad for me. They cut her interview pretty short. She's like, if I
Ooh,
want help, I can go get it. I can walk in right now and get support if I want it, but I'm not ready. So I was, that was pretty impressive to see her speak her truth.
yeah. I mean, and honestly, that's a lot of what's going on. A lot of people, a lot of these homeless people, it's a choice. It's
Yeah.
a choice. They
It's
get
almost a
understand
trend
that
now
they can.
too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Yeah.
trendy. It's weird how some of these trends work,
Yeah.
right? To be homeless. I mean, think about it. I mean, I remember watching some of these specials on homelessness, and they were expressing their panhandling endeavors. I'll put it like that. And they were saying how they make $500, $600 sometimes,
Yeah.
a day
Yeah.
if it's a good day,
Yeah.
So why would I go and get this 9 to 5 job
Yeah.
if I can make 300, 400, $500 a day just sitting on my behind
Yep.
panhandling,
Yep.
tax free,
Yeah.
tax free. I don't have to report not a single
Nothing.
dime to the
Nothing.
government. I can just rely on people's generosity, and I can get paid and live my life. I don't have rent. I don't
Yeah.
have any bills. I have
Yep.
nothing, no responsibilities.
But they got
Unbelievable.
iPhones. Some of them have
But
iPhones. How do you get an iPhone without an address, too? How do you get a cell phone contract without an address?
right. It's, I,
Yeah.
I, beats me.
Yeah.
Beats the hell out of me.
You know,
I don't get it.
we were I was in California visiting my brother one time when we went from Japan to visit, and we're in Beverly Hills, and we went to have lunch at a nice restaurant and everything, and my brother, he didn't finish most of his food, and so he's like, "Oh, can I get it to go?" Because there was a homeless guy outside, so he's like, "Oh, I'll just give him the food." And I go, "Dude, that guy's not
Right.
gonna take your food. He's homeless in Beverly Hills, right? It was on like right out, one street over from Rodeo." And my brother's like, "Oh, I'm sure he's hungry." So I was like, "All right." So he gets the food and he goes over to the guy. He's like, "Here, man." The guy goes, "What is that, food?" My brother goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't want that shit."
Oh no!
My brother's like, "Oh, you're not hungry?" He's like, "Well, yeah, but give me some money." He's like, "Okay." So he just, turned around and came back. I was like, "I told you, man, this is if you're out here homeless in Beverly Hills, a little bit different."
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, homeless back in the day used to be, homeless in the 80s
yeah,
and 90s used to be something completely different.
yes,
And in
yes,
2021, They are bougie. These homeless people are bougie.
Some of the
It's
tents that
unbelievable.
I've seen from like LA, from the people living on the streets, those are some
You got to
nice tents.
speak on it. Speak on it. Yes,
Man,
sir.
I was like, I don't even have a tent
Unbelievable.
like that. I got a little tiny one.
Right? You know, I don't
Jeez.
even have a house like that.
Yeah. I saw
I'm like,
I saw a clip on Instagram. Somebody stopped on the highway and they're like, damn, this guy built himself a little mansion. It had like a little water feature. It was on the side of the highway, little dirt area. He put a little rock stone garden and all this stuff, but it was with a tent. I was like, you know what? Good for that guy. Good for that guy. He should be able to come out of this. If he can think of doing all that with no resources,
yes,
imagine what he could do if with a little bit of help.
right,
Which, look, if people need help,
right.
great. Let's give it
Yeah,
to them.
yeah,
Let's not hand everything
absolutely.
to them. Let's give them the
Right,
support and the help that they need, you know? And here's
right,
the other thing, like when it comes to immigration, with all the, you know, uh, unemployment with, Mexicans, blacks, Asian, white, whatever it is. Okay. If immigrants are coming in and stealing jobs, how is there even unemployment amongst any group? Why don't they just go there and say, look, I'm an American citizen. I demand this job. I demand to pick apples every day. I demand to pick. I said spick. I'm Mexican, so it's okay. I got tongue tied, man. I meant to say pick strawberries, and I confused it. I confused the two. I demand
right.
to pick strawberries. I demand to do all this stuff. And the other thing is too is if when immigration or ICE always goes to raid something, it's always at the workplace. They always go and raid where people are working.
Working.
So yeah, but
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Why can't Americans be more productive? You know, um, I'm against illegal immigration. Right? I'm not a fan of it. But when I look at the Americans and I'm like, okay, why don't you work hard? Hmm? Why don't you do your part? Why don't you, if you have a big problem with illegals coming into this country and getting these low level jobs, why don't you go out there and pick? Why don't you go out there when you're talking about these low level jobs? Why don't you go out there and put your back into it, right? Why don't you do it? But
mm,
they are too again. Americans have gotten soft. We have
mm,
gotten too lazy. We have gotten too stagnant. We've gotten too expectant of the government to take care of us. And you don't need to work hard if you're just going to rely on the government to take care of you. So it's really sad the way America has devolved into this lazy population
yeah.
of people that once were the exact opposite.
Mm.
You
And
know, had a pride about their job.
yeah, I think sometimes pride can be good and it can be bad too. Like I listened to somebody call into a radio show and he was complaining about illegal immigrants and stuff like that. And so they told the guy, said they said to him, okay, so why don't you go and work in the fields or wash toilets? He goes, well, yeah, I'll do it if they pay me 100,000 a year. He's like, exactly. That's why people are coming here and getting these jobs. And people talk about like low level jobs. My family, we used to pick apples, right? And we used to hear people say like, "Oh, apple pickers and all this stuff." I believe one day our record was either 61 or 81, but I believe it was 81 bins, like big boxes of apples in one day. They were paying those at $13. That's over $1,000 in a day my family was making. So we're like, low level jobs, shit, give them to us. My dad, the bank,
Yeah.
the bank asked my father how he was getting so much money because he was depositing the checks. They
Oh, he got
wanted to
flagged, huh?
investigate my father. We were working 6 days a
Oh,
week, sometimes 7 days a week. Six boys plus my father. I was young and
right.
kind of a little bit lazy because I grew up here. I was 1.5 when we got here. So basically 5.5 boys because I didn't
Oh.
really pull my weight compared to my brothers. But uh, I'll be honest, man. I got caught up in the whole thing. Um, And then, we started landscaping companies. My parents got, they have a good life now, all this type of stuff. And it all came from those low level jobs that people always say that, immigrants are stealing. But I never saw anybody that wasn't Mexican working in those fields. Never, not once.
Right, right, right.
At least in
Exactly,
my area,
exactly.
where I grew up.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think now especially, I agree with you that illegal immigration is not a good thing, but we do need, I feel, some type of system to let these people in that even if they want to come in and work part time, during the apple picking seasons, if there's not enough people to do it, let people come in, get money, and then go back. And if they can prove that they can be, great members of society, and after a long period of time, like we did, then you can work for residency. Then you can kind of work, the process. Because right now, there's no way for people from Mexico to come to America and apply for citizenship. There's basically no way. That's why they're all coming here illegally. And we can't expect the U.S. to accept everybody. Also, there's got to be a limit.
Right.
You
Right.
know, but it's a tough problem to fix, man. But it's just out of control right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's no viable solutions being brought to the table at this point. So
Yeah.
it's just a mess. It's just the catch and release, which is I think is just a terrible idea. The policies that are being implemented. We need a system. I mean, you would think at this point in time, at this
Yeah.
juncture, we would have some type of proposal that's worth something. But
Mm.
at this point, there's nothing being proposed. There's nothing being legislated that could benefit both parties.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, this problem will continue to be a problem until we start taking it seriously. And we're not
Yeah.
taking it seriously, so here
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah. And Billy, right? Billy Primpa. I had on my podcast, and we were talking about like illegal immigration and all that stuff, and they come into the U.S. And if 1 million come in, then the Democrats are going to have 1 million new votes and stuff. And I told him, I said, not necessarily, man. My family was illegal. We came in here that way, but we also realized that we came here for a better life, and we realized, the left was just trying to give us stuff for free. They were trying to make us feel like victims. They were trying to make us,
Yeah.
feel a certain way. And then we realized the only way we're going to get ahead is if we work hard. So we started leaning more towards the right. And there's a lot of, especially, I can only speak for like the Mexican community. Most of them have very conservative beliefs. They believe in God, they believe in family, they believe in hard work.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I believe a lot of them are being pushed to the left because the way they're being talked about, the way they're being treated, all that kind of stuff. If I was running for office and I was not Mexican, I'd be like, look, I don't think it's right the way you guys got here. Okay, we got to think of a better system. We got to figure a way to make it good for America, because that's the country you're in, and then we can try to help other people as well. But okay, you're here. Let's work together. What can we do to make your life better, and how can you provide a better life for the people around you in America? Talk to them. You know, hear what they want, things like that. They're already here. They're not going to get kicked out. So what are you going to do? Kind of kick them while they're down, or do you want to help build them up and start to kind of draw them towards your side, especially since their thinking is mostly conservative?
You know what? I've been saying this for a long time, that when it comes to Latinos, when it comes to the black community,
Yes.
particularly that Latino, the black community,
Mm.
even Asian communities as well. Most
Yeah.
people in general, there
Yep.
are conservative values being inculcated
Yep.
into these different races.
Mm.
And it's weird how the switch to liberalism comes about. I mean, obviously through education and things, and media, multimedia, things of that nature. But we are grown, we are born, we are raised conservative.
Yeah.
With conservative values, working hard. Don't rely on the government. We love God. We definitely love our guns.
Yep.
We love our freedoms. We don't like government on our back, micromanaging every single aspect of our life. You know what? I do agree. I do definitely agree that for the illegals here,
Mm,
because of uh, um, uh, uh, the conservative values that they have,
mm, mm.
we need to we need to be speaking more to that.
Yeah.
We need to be like, okay, like you said, I don't agree how you got here,
Mm.
but you're here now.
But you're here.
So
Yeah.
yeah, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
How do we go from here? Because the government just wants to give you handouts,
Yes.
so you'll be beholden to them, so that you'll
Yeah.
float their way. I know that you want to work hard for yours. We
Mm.
want you to be productive members of society.
Yeah.
How can we work together?
Yes.
How can we?
Yes.
So
I
if we
think
can do
that's
that,
that's yeah, that's a big step to take to help kind of turn things around. And as far as like the Mexican community, a lot of the ones that are, in trouble or out in the streets and stuff like that, it's because either they're a single parent, or even if they have both parents at home, they're out working all the time. So the kids come home from
yeah,
school by themselves, and the streets are calling, man. The streets, they are working
yeah,
24/7. The devil is out there
yeah,
trying to draw these kids in with stuff that looks
right.
great. You got, they'll show you girls twerking, they'll show you guys doing this and that, and oh, the good life is over here. Your parents aren't home, they're not going to know. Meanwhile, these parents are out there busting their ass to provide a better life for these kids.
I,
But when put
I,
when what are these kids going to choose? All these hard rules or whatever Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff is showing them. So if we can provide some type of a system or help for them, for these kids, after school programs, whatever it is, to help these kids stay on the path that their parents want them to live. But
I've been a big advocate of these programs, of such programs,
mm,
after school programs, Big Brother programs,
yeah,
um, because like you said, the streets are calling,
yeah,
and at the end of the day, make it look glamorous. They
yep,
make it look extremely glamorous.
yeah,
Not to mention the music videos of these rap songs. They make
oh,
the thug life, the trap life.
oof,
They
yeah,
make it look like it's the best thing ever. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And we got to be able to cut back that and be like, hey, if you stay on this narrow path, the straight and narrow, look at
mm,
what you can be in a legal sense, as
mm,
opposed to trapping on the block, as opposed to
mm,
all this black on. Because this is something that, you just spoke on something that goes on within the black community on a consistent basis within these inner cities, places like
mm,
Chicago, Baltimore, things of this nature. A lot of the issues that we have is the fact that these kids have nothing to do
yeah,
after school, have nothing to do when it comes. So you know, it's really despicable how these kids get sucked into this life of crime,
mm,
because we're not doing anything. We're not
yeah,
doing anything as a community to be able to be like, okay, or not just a black community, or things of that nature, but as a city, as a
yeah,
state, you don't have
yeah.
any programs that are going to be focused on the youth. And as a result, this is what happens. So we really need to revamp that if we're going to have any type of success in the future.
Yeah, one thing that I've really been thinking about recently is it almost feels like the left is using black people, Asian people, illegal immigrants to divide everybody, because they're taking care of all these illegal immigrants, right? And they're in Oakland, they're not helping the white people. That's going to make white people hate illegal immigrants even more, right?
You
So
got
that's causing division with
got
with the Latino and the white community, and also the black community. I've gotten into arguments with black people, Asian people that are, against this too. So that's causing division there. And then you have sports, Major League Baseball, right? Black Lives Matter. Okay, cool. You want to do all that? That's cool, fine. But I saw there's a group of baseball players that are going into black communities to help the kids. Okay, what if I live in that community? Can my half Mexican, half Japanese kid get a free T-shirt too? Or are they going to say, can we, this is for the black community only? Okay, so where do my kids
yeah.
go to get some support?
Right.
Why not just make it into the communities that need help? I don't understand where it is. What's the purpose of, going into black communities? I don't think there's one community where it's 100%. one group of people that live there. There's always a little bit of mix, a half black, half whatever else,
Right.
And so I think they're using that to divide everybody, but they're making it look like they're using that to help people out. And they moved the All-Star game out of Georgia. Georgia's 33% black. How many black businesses are going to suffer because financially because they moved it? And it's going to be funny, and not funny, but it's going to be sad if they move it to a state where there's a very low percentage of black people. How are they going to justify that?
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
speaking on the Georgia thing, I mean, it's the same case of, the white savior complex of people thinking that we're gonna stick it to you this way,
Yeah.
and then they end up hurting the community that they're supposed to be propping up.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely do agree with is that as communities, we need to just come together. Never mind race.
Who cares?
This is arbitrary. Who cares? Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Who cares? Who cares? At the end of the day, you're a person.
Yeah.
And as a person who has needs,
Yeah.
it would behoove a person to come and be like, okay, what's the need here? Not what's the race with the need.
Yeah.
No, what's the need?
Yeah.
Let me help out my community. Let me do something for my community, black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever have you. It doesn't matter. We're all white people. We're all people in this community.
Yes.
Let's all help each other and bridge these racial divides that the left seems to be so dead set on creating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's really frustrating for me to see it from the outside because I'm here in Japan, so I can't really get too much into it. That's why I appreciate people like you taking the time to be on my podcast to talk about these type of things and open my eyes to some things that maybe I'm not seeing or help me get a little better understanding for things that maybe I have a misunderstanding of or whatever. But yeah, I think we just have to, like you said, get past the race, get past of whatever it is that they're starting it with, and just realize that people need help. People need help, not Mexican people, not Cuban people, Puerto Rican people, black people, white people, Asian people. No. And then I wonder if Major League Sports are going to do anything for like the Asians that are being killed. They were writing the names of people that have been killed. Okay, I understand that. I really don't care about the situation of how they were killed, whatever. If they were killed and they want to honor that person, great, go ahead. But now, are they going to do anything for the Asians that are being killed or that are being, beat up or attacked in the streets for doing nothing? And it's especially elderly people that are being beat up. And if they do, which one are they going to choose? I wonder if it's going to be somebody that was killed by a white person or somebody that was killed by a non-white person. To me, that's just causing a lot more divide. We can support everybody that has injustice happening to them. Yeah, it's going to be 2021 is going to be an interesting year. It does seem like a lot of people are starting to really wake up to what's going on and starting to see what the government and big companies and celebrities are trying to do.
Yeah. I really love, and this is something I've talked to my buddies about at length. The Donald Trump presidency really woke up a lot of. I don't care if you're left, right, or center. You cannot deny that you woke up during the Donald Trump presidency. And at the end of that, I was talking to a buddy of mine at the gym one day, and we couldn't be more further apart ideologically. Okay?
Yeah.
But one thing that we were in the only thing, as a matter of fact, the only thing that we agreed upon is the impact of Donald Trump. He woke people up, people who paid attention to politics a day in their life.
Yeah.
So they were involved. That's what happened with me. A person that has never paid attention to politics all of a sudden woke up due to the Trump presidency. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people who were as well. And it's really important to really see things for what they are. And one thing we really need to look at is race. The
Yeah.
fact that it's playing such a big fact, it's such a playing such a big role nowadays. When at the end of the day, we're all the same people. And I think a lot
Yeah.
of people are coming to just realize that the media is trying to put on this white versus everything, right?
Mm.
White
Mm.
versus white versus white versus Latino. They're trying to put on in this masquerade and trying to make it seem like it's all about race. And a lot of people are being turned off by this push. So
Mm.
I really do love the fact that there's a lot of people waking up. And I think that we need to continue this push of waking people up, especially when it comes to race, so that we'll be able to come together as a people, as a not white people or black people, so we can come together as Americans, come together
Yes.
as people, as whole human beings, and be like, okay, how do we fix this?
Mm.
We're straight so far from the past. How do we get back to where we need to be for the advancement of the human race?
Mm.
For the advancement of for the advancement of the people of our state, of the people of our community. What are we going to do to make our lives better, to enrich our lives?
Yeah.
And I think if we really focus on that as opposed to the color of skin, like Martin Luther King said, the content of
Mm.
character, if we can get back to the content of people's character as opposed to the color of their daggone skin, I think we can make
Yes.
some real progress here.
Yeah. And people got to get thicker skin too. Can't be sensitive about everything.
Oh,
You can't say anything now. Like if you say like, "Oh, I don't like that guy," and they happen to be Mexican or black or Asian. "Oh, you don't like that race of people." No, I just don't like that guy. That's it. That's all it is. People are so sensitive now. They nitpick everything. And it's hard to communicate with people in those type of situations because anything you say, you're automatically anti whatever it is you're talking
yeah.
about.
You can't stifle the truth and expect to bring
Yeah.
about any type of meaningful change. Okay,
Yes.
you've got to be
Yeah.
pay attention to the facts and what the facts of the case, the facts of anything, the facts of anything in life.
Yeah.
You have to adhere to pesky things, these pesky little things called facts, if you want to do anything meaningful in this life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that there's a lot of agendas going on,
Mm.
and there's a lot of narratives put forth that go against a lot of these facts,
Yeah.
because these narratives are false. These narratives
Yes.
are burnt. And as a result of us providing facts, it automatically debunks these narratives.
Mm.
So you can't bring about any, you can't help with that,
Mm.
because you're not falling into the narrative. And
Yeah.
this is something that something I've really kind of put on my shoulders, is beating back narratives,
Yeah.
because narratives are really what's destroying this. Bar none,
Mm.
narratives are destroying this country. The narrative that white people are all racist, right? That's a narrative.
Mm.
A narrative that boys can be girls and girls can be boys. That's a
Mm.
narrative, right? And it's just, I'm telling you, it's this postmodernistic push
Mm.
for everything that's anti-Enlightenment era, right? And what came out of the Enlightenment era is a lot of religion, a lot of
Yeah.
science, a
Yeah.
lot of
Mm.
facts, data, right? They don't like that.
Yeah.
So as a result of this modernistic push, there's an all-out assault on language. There's an all-out assault on anything that's factually based. There's an all-out assault on knowledge and actual knowledge that's been proven throughout the years, science. There's an
Mm.
all-out assault on the. So we got to stand up and stand out if we're going to have. I always say this when it comes to us here in America. We have to stand up and stand out if we're going to have an America in the future.
Yes. Yeah. The future is looking, and it's not only what's happening in America, it's what's going on in other parts of the country that is affecting the future of America. It's
Yes.
not like every country loves America and is looking forward to the prosperity of America. That's far from the truth. So it's not just what's happening at home. It's also what's going on around the world. And it almost feels like they're causing this distraction in America to not show what other countries are trying to do, to America. And it's scary if you don't live in America and you see or hear what's going on. It's pretty scary, man.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
But
It really is. So we
yeah,
got to do something. We got to do something,
yeah.
buddy.
So I guess that's what we got to do, man, is try to keep speaking the truth and bring people together. And, I think you're probably along the same line as me. You love everybody. You support everybody. As long as you're not committing a crime or hurting anybody, call yourself what you want to, live your life the way you want to. As long as you don't try to make me live that type of life or make my kids live that type of life, do what you want to do. I don't care. I'm happy for you if you're happy, Just I want you to enjoy your life, but I also want to be able to enjoy mine, share my faith,
Huh.
share how I feel about family, things like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's all we got to do, man, is push for that and pray for that. So,
Pray for that.
yeah,
Exactly. Much prayer
yeah.
power, brother.
I hear you, man. Well, we're going on an hour and 20 today, and then we had like 30 minutes last time before we got cut off. So,
Yeah.
really appreciate your
Hey, we
time.
did pretty well, man. We did
Yeah.
pretty well. No cutting off.
No cutting
No,
off,
no fuss.
man. We got through it this time. Yeah. So,
Yes,
but yeah,
sir.
let's I'll be back in the States late June and we'll be there for a couple months. So let's see if we can try to connect when I'm down there and try to do something.
I'm fine with that. Come on now. You
Let's
kidding
do
me?
it.
Let's go. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So we'll keep in touch and go from there, man.
You got it, boss. You got it, man. It's always a freaking pleasure, man.
Hey,
Oh, man, it's a freaking
likewise.
pleasure talking to you, man.
Likewise, man. Appreciate it.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
stay safe and God bless and we'll talk again soon.
You got it, boss. You take care of yourself.
All right, you too, man. Talk to you later.